And that goes for people listening at home on YouTube
Alright.
pre-stream. Grab some water, grab some snacks, and get ready to listen to the NFC North.
Two
What was...
rambling
Oh.
motherfuckers.
Mother frickers!
Frickers. Editor, cut that out.
Your editor,
Yeah, editor.
Mr. Awesome, Cody, and Chris.
And Skull.
I already did Skull.
Oh, you did good.
He was the first one I did.
Oh, wow.
Here.
Mr. Favorite? Alright.
Yep.
Or is that, no, I'm sorry, it's Mr. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Recap stream.
And I got my water and everything of that ready. Okay. Got my Vikings onesie on.
Vision. Cool. Well, as we wait for a few people to trickle in and actually see this shit, hopefully everything works.
I'm trying to
Ooh,
see
Kalen
if
Ballage
it's... Oh yeah, the failed physical.
failed his... Yeah. Interesting. Alright, what was I gonna do before I started? There was something important. Oh yeah, I was gonna check
yeah,
to make sure it
what I
was
was going to
working.
do as well, was I was just gonna give the overview of the team overall.
Oh, well,
Let me
yeah.
go there. And I'll just put that by, hold on. Yes, create a new character, yes. So, Bears are 79, 79, 79. Vikings are 79, 79, 79.
Yep. Anyone listening,
Hackers.
yeah, these will be uploaded to YouTube
Yes.
tonight. Or
If
whatever.
if we remember to, we'll cut most of the beginning out.
I don't know if it's possible, but, you know,
Maybe.
I'll just... I'll just put the timestamp of where you can skip to in the
Oh,
comments
that's an
to
interesting one for the
start.
Lions. That would be very nice. That makes sense, though.
Anyways.
Yes.
Anyways. This should probably be enough people. Durs is in here. Oh, we got 5
Nice.
people in. So,
Yeah, oh, yeah, we got enough.
let's see. Let's go just alphabetical.
Yep.
So I guess Lions are first.
Aren't
So yeah,
Bears?
welcome.
Because you're Seahawks.
Wait,
Isn't Bears
the
first?
Bears?
Wouldn't Bears be
I've never
B and
heard of
wouldn't
the
D be
Bears. There's a team called the Bears?
the Blues, actually?
Ah, never heard of them. Kind of hate them.
Yeah.
Trubisky's no longer on the Bears in
No.
this universe. So that's one good thing about this Bear team. It's actually a very good team. I think there's a
79
lot of
overall across
upsides.
the board. So,
Which, I
like,
mean,
the
I guess
team
that's a
overall.
little low, but I like a lot of these players. I think on
The
defense, they have some good pieces.
not the most exciting to me in terms of like young talent. Like this seems to be the most established team in the North.
Mhm. But
But let's
uh,
want to
where do
get
you want
into
to
like
start?
our
Like,
highlights. Yeah.
yeah, let's do highlights first. You can see this roster. Our first real highlight, I think, is also they're probably their best player on paper. D Kilgore. Um, I don't know if he's related to. What's the lore of AGML M21? Are we? Is this
Um,
like the same universe as AGML
I think
M20?
so. I think this is 2 years after.
Like, is D Kilgore somehow like an like cousin of like Jeremiah Kilgore?
Yes.
Old
These are
I
all
think
actually
Kilgore was
X. Anyone that's older is just XFL players,
mm,
and they disbanded 2 years later, and all like came rushing into the NFL.
I see.
Um, yeah, yeah. Sorry. So with D Kilgore, as you can see on your screen, he's the 90 overall, X-facting right outside linebacker. He is the fourth best outside linebacker in the entire league. 29, so he's a bit old, but that X factor shouldn't regress.
Mhm.
Shouldn't make him regress. He should be up there, top of his game for probably the first 5 seasons we have here. He's coming off his best
Yeah.
season with 11 sacks as a run stopper, and he's got that. He does have adrenaline rush, so he does have
Which I
some
mean, yeah,
sort of
that's a pretty
pass
good one.
rushing. Yeah, pass rushing
I don't know how
prowess.
that actually works in um
Yeah.
the sim. I don't know if cuz I'm from playing on like by myself against the CPU, like I will have like players have pass rush move points gone and like the O line has like I guess strength build up against him or like because of tendencies
Yeah.
even though I've not hadn't played a down with him using him. So I think it might do that on its own and just not show it unless you have him selected. I think that's how it works, but
Mhm.
can't don't quote me on that. I'm not a Madden expert.
But I mean, Chris is moving more towards a 4-3 defense, so we are going to see him more just be
Hmm.
a run stuffing role anyway, which is his bread and butter.
But yeah, Kilgore, I think he's a pretty typical outside linebacker. Had some really good high tackle seasons, few
Hmm.
hundred or it looks like 100, and a few where he flirted with 100, but not the doesn't get the most picks, but has some. I think overall I like he plays pretty good. Not a bad. Oh, he has one safety in his career. He has
Nice.
gotten one safety. Any touchdowns? No. So, yeah, he's a linebacker.
I mean, he's
Linebacker's
the
actually a
best.
pretty
He's the best on the
he's
team,
the best player on the team, yeah.
but
I was
not
like
most
I think there's a
exciting, I
couple
would say,
other.
for this team.
Oh no, there's a few real exciting, and I think that's where we go into the receiving core, which is where I think this team will win, win or lose.
Mhm.
God, this is sweaty.
I know. It's so good.
It's Mr. Meekins, Timmy Meekins.
So as you
Um,
can probably see, your eyes probably darted right to that speed with 98, making him the second
jeez,
fastest receiver in the league. There is a 99,
95 acceleration.
and he is the best in terms of combinational speed and acceleration and change of direction that he has. He's also the best hands in terms of speed as well. He is probably the most complete speed receiver in the league right now. And he pairs with Leslie Richards, who's just on 2 down. He's probably going to line up outside because I think Meekins is the slot coming into this year when they go 3 wide just because of his size. He's only
Sure.
5. He's only 5'8", right? Um,
Yeah.
so Leslie
I
Richards
mean,
will play on the outside at 6'1", and he has
mhm.
94 speed, and Volt Allen isn't no slouch at 91 speed.
I feel like Leslie Richards' biggest issue is the dev. Normal dev definitely sucks, but last year he had 900 yards in a rookie season, 10 touchdowns. This dude's was a monster last season. I
Hmm.
don't think normal dev. The only thing normal dev will suck for is in good few months when he starts to get a bit up there in age. I
Yeah,
unless he gains dev like might die pretty quick, which sucks to see that happen. But I really like how it looks like he sims well. And yeah, this whole core has a lot of potential and
I'm excited to
could
watch
be
this
giving
core.
the rest of the North trouble. Um,
But with that, we should probably go then to who's getting him the ball, who's feeding him.
sure,
Uh, so we have Cody, Scott Cody.
Cody.
Could have
Hi,
been yours,
Cody.
Cody, if you picked the Bears. Sorry. He's a veteran, 10 years in the league, 85 overall, and he has luckily the best arm, tied for the best arm in the league at 95 throw power. As you can see, he's got that
Big
strong. Of
arm.
course, he's got the strong arm.
Look at those muscles on this guy.
Yeah, and he gets to
This guy looks
also.
old. He looks
He
like
is old.
Wayne Rooney.
All right. Dang, that's a. He's dead. He's dead at this point.
Wayne Rooney?
At 2035, probably.
Wayne Rooney's like 36 right now.
Eh. I'll stick with it. We'll see. You can, you
Do you
can, you
know who
can. No, I
Wayne
have no
Rooney
clue who
is?
Wayne Rooney is.
He's a soccer player.
Okay. Oh yeah. Who knows? Things happen. But he pairs that arm with deep accuracy, 90 deep accuracy, to get to his speedy wide receivers down the field. He's a statue. He's a statue in the pocket. That's his one issue. But he just gets to chuck it up.
He's
He gets to chuck it up to these
in
boys for a couple of years before Chris has to replace him.
last year he had a 4,200 yard season with 31 touchdowns and 10 picks, which that's pretty seems pretty standard from what I've been seeing. It's a good year, but not anything out of the ordinary for a sim quarterback this season or this
Hmm.
Madden. That's like a solid year. But yeah, like he's done that pretty consistently. Had a few down years there, but usually is above the 4 grand mark. Um, yeah, he's like a pretty typical quarterback, but what you'd like to see there. And then finally, uh, we have the rookie, Cesar Gonzalez.
Yes.
Oops, wrong one. Cesar Gonzalez, and
Right end.
uh, yeah, this boy, he has a little bit of potential as we go and edit him. Uh, totally cheating. He is, in fact, a superstar, as you can see here. Madden might not like to tell you, but I will tell you. And I think this guy hopefully is part of Chris's plans going forward. This dude, look at that face. That's a face that quarterbacks will fear. He angry, not. uh,
Um, he will
anyways,
most likely usurp Ogletree, who's only a 79 overall at 27, and
yeah.
he's just not as fast as Gonzalez is. But
One
he's
issue I have with Gonzalez,
mhm.
it's huge. He does not have a move that's really refined.
Mhm.
Like finesse moves are kind of there, but like he needs a lot of work on those finesse moves. And hopefully he's only 68 and has a lot of development to go, so he
Yeah.
should be able to get there. But like, yeah, 75 being your best move isn't the best.
Sure.
especially as a speed like as someone who can't stop the run that well, which he can't.
Yeah.
But I think he is a very much a physical freak, and hopefully can just be taught that.
And I mean, like to be fair, in the comparison to Ogletree, he's only 7 points behind. Like that's maybe a season or two to catch up,
Hmm.
and he's already passed him in terms of pass rushing ability. On top of
Yeah.
being a superstar, so he'll develop faster and not fall off the map.
Uh.
Which is why I think he should be the starter coming in and over
So, like,
Ogletree
looking at the
especially.
rest of their roster, though, I think they do have quite a few weaknesses. Like, halfbacks, they're all pretty old and not too exciting. Receiving is very much, I think, their biggest strength on this team. Very
Yes,
exciting. Even they do have one person we did not mention is their tight end Justin McAdams, who is a superstar himself. Um, I think he has some good potential, and like with him and those three receivers, I like them a lot. O line's pretty standard for from what I've seen, like high 70s, which is about what you can expect from the sim to give
yeah.
people. Yeah, their D line is, I think, their best by far their best uh positional group on their defense, with other than Kilgore.
Darren Lee, yeah,
uh the rest of
yeah.
these guys just aren't quite like wow popping out to me, and their secondary isn't. Devin Fields, he's actually
But Devin
pretty
Fields at
decent, 95 speed.
82. Yeah, he's good speed.
That's your best defensive back, and Devin Fields would be is a great defensive back. And I mean, you have Kevin Vash's brother here, or not brother, that's cousin.
Yeah,
That'd be weird.
could be little brother. Could be little
But
brother.
that would be like
We saw that in.
a
I mean, the
15.
cars.
I mean, I guess parents are weird.
Yeah.
Parents actually, unlike mine, were sexually active after I was born.
Aw. Yes. Um.
But yeah, their secondary and defensive backs, other than Devin, aren't particularly crazy. So I think we'll see here. It's an interesting team where I could see them almost in the kind of weird no man's land of not good enough to win anything, but good enough to too good to lose everything.
mhm. And
And
especially with
so,
Scott Cody getting up there, they
yeah,
they kind of have to make a decision. Like they could definitely go out and beef up their defensive backfield or
hmm,
get a running back or something of that nature if they want to
yeah,
make a run within the first two seasons while Meekins is
hmm,
still good and you got a Richards that's coming up. But a 31-year
yeah,
old star dev quarterback is concerning
for
for the
sure.
future of the team.
That sounds like a guy who's ready to die.
Yeah.
And next up, we will have the first in the alphabetical order of the NFC North, the
Yes.
Lions. This is Cody's, good old Cody's team. Um, yeah, I think Lions are another particularly interesting team. Um, Again, they have some really cool uh uh groups. Uh, Actually, kind of a bit like the Bears, and I think a lot of teams in these sims have some strong suits, some pretty weak positions. That's like
Hmm.
what we want to see here. And I think the no other place. Well, since we're here, we will check out this boy Matt Williams, who he's actually not that bad. He's like he's in like the kind of mediocre zone where it's like you can definitely do better. Maybe not your long term plan, but he can get the job done. He plays pretty decently. Um, Last season he had his first 4,000 yard. year, with 31 passing touchdowns. So I think again, that seems pretty standard for these the Sims we got leading up to here. But like
Mhm.
honestly, for starting so long, for really starting all but his rookie season, he just honestly, it's kind of surprising how like he just either didn't get any higher. I guess he has normal, but feel like you start for all these years, you maybe get to be a little better than like 81, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
The
maybe the
Lions are Lion stuff.
yeah, that's true. It's just Lion stuff. I could see Matt Williams just being gone next year.
I don't like again. He's very serviceable. I don't think he's an
Yeah, but
embarrassment to the team.
sure. But
Um,
if anything, do the Lions just tank then and get
that's
just
a
say
good
like
point.
screw it, right? Because Matt Williams is serviceable, so he'll keep you around. Uh, but the Lions do have the worst offense overall in the North. They have the best defense.
Sure.
They're a very defensively focused team. So if they hard focus offense this draft, they
See,
can
I actually really
quickly
don't
turn
mind
around.
these boys whatsoever, though. I like their offense. There's some decent pieces,
Mhm.
especially their wide receiving core, which I think has some of the two more impact players on this team with Nick Ryan, well, three, but two going forward. Nick Ryan's and Tyrone Jackson, both who are 25 years old. Um, very decent young receivers. This Madden didn't decide not to develop Tyrone Jackson, which is a shame because he's actually
Mhm.
pretty solid. Um,
Yeah.
and Alec West being the veteran of the group, um, he's actually very. They're both. They're all pretty decent. I believe it was last season. Uh, Nick or Ryan's and Alec West both had 1,000 yard seasons at receiving, which is pretty good having dual 1K receivers.
I
Tyrone only had like 500-ish yards,
I do want to
but
say Tyrone Jackson was undrafted 2 seasons ago. So we
so I
don't
guess
know if the
yeah.
game didn't develop him. They might have developed him. He just might have started at a very low overall. To be undrafted and be a superstar wide receiver is pretty
I
nice. That's a
mean,
good
I
story.
something tells me Madden will just miss players sometimes, though.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we miss superstars even.
Yeah, but like I mean, overall wise, like there will be high 60s that just go
Yes,
undrafted. So it's tough to
for sure.
say where he started. It's a big question, but lots to work here long term. Um, Also in that receiving group, you do have Enrique Tyson, at least temporarily. Um, and Tyson's an interesting tight end. He is the third best tight end in this Madden, in the sim, in the league. One of
Mhm.
those words. But like, I don't know if he's like on paper he's very good. Receiving wise, there's a big question mark to me, and that is his touchdowns. As a vertical threat, I would probably expect the third best tight end to have more career touchdowns, especially considering his yards are pretty decent. He's only hit 700 once, but two 600s, one 700. Like, it's not, like, considering how many yards and targets he gets, and being a pretty big dude, 6'5", I'd
Mhm.
expect him to have more touchdowns, and he just doesn't.
Yeah. Um. I mean, like, yeah. I mean, like, I like his speed a lot and acceleration. He's a very shifty, Evan Ingram-esque tight end to me.
Hmm.
But I
It's
see
just,
like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, it could just be a quarterback thing as well, and just like too many eggs, you know,
hmm.
too many targets to really throw around to really get him involved.
Yeah. Um. Now the defensive side of the ball, like that's actually where their
That's their
team
bread and
gets
butter.
pretty good, and there's a lot of good players. Sterling Bullard's getting old. There's some older guys on the defense. Um, Sterling Bullard's good. They don't really have a right end to speak of, but
Mm.
you can find that.
Yeah.
DTs are all pretty solid and in their kind of middle age, at least Madden middle age. Linebackers are very nice. I like them linebackers a lot. I think here we'll set another X Factor role right outside the linebacker in the north is Orion Pritchett, which actually again I think he is like what I found interesting looking at both D Kilgore of the Bears, another X Factor, and Pritchett is they're both X Factor uh linebackers, but
Yeah.
honestly, I find Kilgore a lot, stats wise, a lot more intriguing. Like you look here at Pritchett, he is just production wise isn't what you'd expect for a player his caliber on paper. You know, he's only has like one pick in his whole career, just nothing. Like his best tackles are 84 in a season
Mm.
with 18 for loss, which is not bad, but it's like
What I
for his overall wise, it's like, ugh.
what I think has happened to him is that he was out of scheme, right? Like
Mm,
I'm looking at the stats, the sack numbers, he has none. Looking at him,
yeah.
that seems
He's a,
impossible. He is
yeah.
a freak off the edge. 95 finesse move with 85 speed and 81 strength. There's
Mhm.
no way that
God, he's
he
a
he
95
just
finesse.
wasn't
Jesus.
utilized. He wasn't utilized properly.
So
Right?
Cody,
He's
you
not a
better
he's not
move him
a
on the line.
I was about
You
to say
better.
as a 3-4 as a 3-4 edge, he's amazing. I think even
Right.
if he moves him to right end, which would again
Yeah.
fill in the hole that he has at right end if he wants to keep a 4-3, right,
Mhm.
to get both the middle linebackers involved. I'm sorry, the other way around, just to not have Witherspoon out and can develop then Staley,
Mhm.
who I think is a could be a better fit at the right outside linebacking position
Sure.
for him than waste away Pritchett. Yeah, yeah. Cody said it himself. He's out of
And
position for
yeah,
sure.
I think one thing too is like I don't know if he actually. I wish the reason what teams they were on because I have that feeling like just how the CPU drafts
Yeah,
they normally draft scheme players. This
sure.
guy
No,
looks
I
like
think
he's
this was
never been
definitely
scheme. So I feel like this is a free agent by the
yes.
Lions. Um, looking because they I don't think they care that much about scheme and free agency. They're not, but they care more about it in drafting, which is really odd to
Hmm.
me. But yeah, his X Factor's not the best either. Oh, like Selfless would could be really good.
Yeah,
I
a
have
few
two other
drafts.
X Factors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, Pritchett's a big, almost question mark, because, like, how will he perform on the line? You just don't know. I think he will do good, but, we're going to see that. And then finally, at least in our spotlight players, we are going to take a look at this boy, Deontay
Yes.
Monty. Monty's just a young. This dude, he's gonna become one of the best zones in the game, or could as a he's already 77 overall. More year,
Yeah.
bad boy.
Superstar
Just
again. A lot of superstars. He gets
oh
to
yeah,
develop.
has good speed. Like maybe not top end. It might have a like, but you can keep up with like the Bears receivers
Oh yeah.
pretty fine. It looks like. Speed's not a concern at least, and just for me, it's just he has a pretty solid zone scheme. Like man's a bit iffy. Press, it's pretty solidly a zone corner, but
Hmm.
I think this guy you can develop him into one of the best. Last season he had an okay year, nothing amazing, but like no picks, but it's a corner year.
It's a rookie.
Hard to
He's
really
a
rate
rookie. He'll
him.
learn. Um, I mean, he's
And
six
playing
two,
behind,
and with
yeah.
Griffin at 6, like this is a tall, first two
Mhm.
corners, and they're just so young. Like 25-76, and then 23-71 down below. I don't think Cody has to worry about cornerback for a few years. Griffin's gonna get up there, but he gets to kind of focus more on other areas of need, and then he can just
Mhm.
focus corners for a few years.
And yeah, like everyone else on this defense, they might be getting kind of old, 30s, 31,
Mm-hmm.
but they're serviceable right now. And there's no like big glaring weakness on this defense, and I'm excited to see how they play in the
Yeah.
sim. Looking like they're one of the better defenses in this league. Um, yeah, basically,
So
and like I believe O-line isn't anything too special here from what I
no,
remember looking at. Yeah, no one too. It's like again, O-line's been
they
standard.
got a good
Kind of a
guard.
bad O-line.
They got a young right guard. They need just a good left guard. They got a
Oh yeah, he is
decent center.
23.
Yeah,
That is, and he's a star.
yep.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, running back is another concern I saw looking here. Just
Hmm.
no one. You have Camp, but he's kind of getting up there. He's about to pass the age of no return, and their lead back is a 29-year-old 77 normal. I almost I was worried it would be like a superstar
Well, it
star.
would have said something,
But
but I think this
yeah, like all.
team rests on Matt Williams' shoulders, and it looks like Cody's not even going to start him. So
Mm,
it's looking like an O'Callahan show.
what's O'Callahan's? I hate to look at this publicly because I hate to make it known more than it is, but I guess everyone already knows it. What's his
Yeah,
traits?
worst kept
Ideal
secret.
and conservative. Right, like at some point it got out. Jim basically let it out of the bag,
Sure.
and
I mean, I really didn't know
uh,
about it. I don't really care.
trait.
I don't. I feel like Cody shouldn't like start Callahan and start Williams just to develop
I think Williams is.
Ryan's and Jack. Like you don't wanna ruin Jackson and Ryan's potential development by starting someone like
Yeah,
Callahan.
I don't know.
Like
Williams is just.
I get the tank issue, but like I don't think your offense is gonna work regardless. I'd rather just have a quarterback that's more consistently able to get them the ball. Uh, and maybe you steal the division. I mean, that defense could honestly carry them if Pritchett, not Pratchett,
Mhm,
Pritchett goes off as a right end next year,
sure.
and these corners develop and stuff like that.
Yeah. Next up we have the Packers. And Packers are Packers. Um,
They have an old quarterback, like always.
yeah, of course they do. But they have actually some pretty high overalls. I believe actually the NFC North is actually pretty well balanced in
It is.
terms of team overall.
Yeah,
And this
so
team is one of the.
the Packers have the best offense at 80 overall, and then they're 79 team overall, 79 defense. So just in line with like the Bears and Vikings and stuff of that nature. The
Yeah.
Lions are the only one that are like wonky, where they're just so bloated
Mhm.
on one side and so bad on the other.
Which is yeah, kind of a thing. Where do you want to start?
I think we should start at the quarterback, Alec Mahone, who was the Chiefs. We did see that. We know that for a fact. He was the Chiefs' former quarterback after we killed Mahomes. They got him Mahone. And I believe the Packers signed him last season, or a season or two
Yeah.
seasons ago. And he used to be one of the best. I think if you go on his career ratings, he's up there with top all time for who's still in the league. But time
See
just
that
came
I
up to
think
him.
if you look at his stats, like yards wise, he's just never been that great until like I think you can see like the year he moved, which is hilarious because like
Yeah.
2032 it's just like he gets a bunch of yards, but Jesus, he threw 19 picks.
Yep.
Like, and then the year after he kind of settled down a bit, and he's kind of found maybe a little career resurgence here. But I don't know. I think
Wisdom.
a lot of it is just bulk stats. It's just
For sure.
very okay every year.
But he,
Um.
I mean, like, again, I could see him not even starting, depending on how the Packers want to go at it. I don't really like
Hmm.
Deontay Hazelwood. Uh, but
Yeah.
Mahoney's just hit a wall. Like he's gonna end up retiring next year
I
or the
don't
year
get what you
after.
would by using Hazelwood. I don't get what you benefit other than a worse record. You
Yeah,
know,
that's kind of the
like
thing, right?
the
For the
guy's 26 at
Packers,
71. He's not your guy.
no, he's not
I
your
don't
guy, but
think.
neither is Mahoney. Like unless you think this Packers squad, I don't see it, can make a
Hmm.
run this year, I wouldn't do it.
I don't know. See, the thing with these divisions though is we don't know how they'll play out.
Sure,
Like,
but just in terms of
we
like
could see.
the NFC at large as we go around it, I just don't see it. And they don't have the offensive players to develop like the Lions do. Like they got one 24-year-old
Sure.
wide receiver and one 23-year-old tight end. Both aren't
Hmm.
superstars, you know, which is why I would
Yeah.
I would give this the opposite analysis of what we just gave Cody in terms of who to start
Hmm.
is that
I don't know. I
they
think one
just
thing you could see people doing with Madden is I feel like the first season or two could just be like lottery ticket seasons almost,
Mhm.
where like everyone's so close, you get a good run of wins, and you're in the playoffs, and in the playoffs because everyone's between like 82 to like 78 overall, but
yeah.
like you could theoretically and with a much better chance than a normal year just get that lucky run of just like get string a couple wins together in the playoffs and you're in the Super Bowl and win. Like, I could see people almost being like, "All right, let's see what we have." We
He's
before
rolling with
totally
them.
dumping
Mr. Awesome is gonna
Mr.
roll with
Awesomeness.
Mahoney. He's gonna run. He's gonna go for a run here. Which
I
I
dig
mean, like
that.
again, we will go over the team a bit more, and we'll see. We'll see. I like. I think their offense. I don't see how they are the best offense in the North. I think the Bears
I don't.
hold that distinction more
And
than.
even honestly, I find it's because their O line. The Packers O
Sure,
line
sure, sure, sure.
puts
I'm just
them
saying, like, I
overall
think the
better.
Bears have the best offense
I think I
in
could
the
agree
in the
with you
division.
there. Um, I actually really do like also the Lions often more than you do. I think their three receivers have some are like the Bears, and honestly, a lot of these teams they're gonna
Mhm.
rely on the receivers a bit, and
Yeah,
I think both Lions and Bears have a good top three, and both have some potential with their or tight ends. So, like yeah, you look at these receivers though for the Packers, and like unless we're gonna get into
they're
Eric
sleepy.
Johnson, like
Outside of Eric Johnson, it's so
yeah,
sleepy. They're all bench players. They're number threes after this year.
like Eric Johnson's interesting. He's actually pretty decent at getting touchdowns.
Mhm.
Um, yards wise is pretty alright. Um, but for the that being, I don't know the receiver situation last year, but I mean still, um, he's he gets a lot of touchdowns, just not a lot of.
I mean, that comes with the. That comes with the territory of being 6'3". That's actually I didn't even realize that. All the starting three
What?
receivers are 6'3". They're all big
Tall.
boys. They're all mountains. They got Gil Armstead, who is probably I'm gonna say the one like exciting piece to develop on offense.
Hmm.
I I'm iffy on Eric Johnson. I like Gil Armstead
Yeah.
more as a 23-year-old 76 tight end with
Sure.
good catching and good short route running and catch speed
Mm.
to boot.
What did he do last year? He
It
had
was
a
a
really
rookie
nice little
year.
season last year.
Yeah.
A nice little year.
Yep.
So I think here, yeah, O line though is, I think we'll
O line's where they
see.
get it.
Oh God, that left side's so beautiful. Like
Hmm.
left to center, that's a
And they
good line.
yeah.
And like the right side's a bit weaker, but you protect at least the quarterback's blind side.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. I'm assuming Mahone is right-handed. I'm gonna double check this because that'd be funny if he wasn't. Oh, wrong thing. Like if somehow like he was like a rare lefty. I don't know
We
if.
do get those
Yeah, he's
sometimes.
right. He is a
Okay.
right-handed. Like that'd be funny. It's like, oh yeah, his blind side's protected, as he ends up being a right. Like the blind side is the right side.
Hmm.
But yeah, that O line's pretty good on the left side. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's the
Um,
best O line we've seen so far. I think
mhm.
overall wise. Just off of the center
Moving. Yeah.
being the only
Let's
like
center. Let's look a
superstar.
little closer. We haven't talked about him much, right, Jerry?
No, no, we've not
Not. I mean,
talked about him
obviously he's
enough.
O line, so he's a bit. But he's
He is
definitely,
X
I think,
Factor.
he's the best. He is the best. He is an X Factor, which I actually didn't know. Oh wait, X Factors only affect O line's dev, but no
Yeah, but
abilities
still,
on
like that's okay.
superstars.
Like I swear I saw an X Facting O lineman. I just didn't know where. And I saw that he was a superstar, but I was like, maybe it's not him.
He has like nasty streak, which is like um when you don't wipe and you look at your underwear.
No, no, we're not doing that. I mean, like he's okay. To be honest, both of his abilities are perfect because they're one's a pass blocking ability and one's a run blocking ability,
Yeah.
right? Like Polar Elite and Nasty Streak. I believe Nasty Streak is for pass blocking, and
Mm.
then Polar Elites are for run blocking.
He has
And
98 run block power.
yeah, he's a boy. It sucks because they don't have a good running back to pair with this.
Mm.
Like if he had, as we're about to see in the Vikings, if he had the Vikings running back,
Yeah.
that would be great.
And I think last focus player will be Damian Lynch.
Yeah, just the D line in
Who
general, they're all superstars
right.
or higher.
Again, Damian's pretty good. He's definitely regressing. I wish we would have seen what he was in his prime. Probably would have been like low 90s. But even
Yeah,
then,
probably had
again, sack wise, he's
99.
had
He probably
some
had
decent
99
years.
power move.
This guy, like, he's very, like, he'll have his on years and then his off years, and he can never stay consistent throughout his career, it looks like.
Hmm.
He'll, like, this is honestly he's on his most consistent streak of his career, even dipping down to only 9 sacks, with the previous season being 14. But like other than that, it was like 4.5 to 13.5 to 8 to 3.5 to 12, and it's like stay consistent, bud. I wonder. Wait, that might be an injury thing actually. Let's see his injury rating.
It's 84. That's not.
Yeah,
Oh, and also,
it's not
I
good.
believe for the Sam, I turned it
It's
off.
not great. Injury? Oh,
Yeah.
hmm.
So
Maybe just
it would
inconsistent.
have just been what it was.
That's interesting, though. I guess
Yeah.
yeah, he did start 16 games every year.
Yep.
But yeah, the rest of the D line, you got Hayden, who he's a speedier guy. Got some beautiful finesse moves. I'm a sucker for finesse moves.
Mhm.
This guy, he just isn't a sack getter though. He hasn't put that much pressure on,
Which is
which
just
is a shame.
odd to me. Like looking at the
Yeah.
defensive line, it looks like they would be one of the best defensive lines
Mhm.
in terms of sacks. But even like their defensive tackles don't get sacks, even though they're
No.
superstars.
And like, I wonder if they're playing 3-4 or some shit, but no,
Mm-mm.
I don't think so.
But outside of that, like their defensive backfield, their back seven is really nothing to
Yeah.
write home about.
After going over some very good right outside linebackers, Julius Yarborough is not that.
No.
And like you look at the corners and they're fine. Air Newman's actually pretty fine. He's youngish and okay.
Maybe developed
Safety
it,
Reggie
maybe.
Rackley is actually pretty good. I like Reggie
That's the one
a
bright
bit.
spot I think in their backfield is Rackley.
He'll be around, but
But again, he's
Gay,
only a
like
normal.
he's in.
He's only has one career interception. He doesn't cause fumbles. It's just like that back seven to me is just not impressive enough.
So it looks like it
Which
was a
is
3-4. So hopefully, if in a 4-3, that could be actually pretty good.
yeah.
Hopefully those. Hopefully it's a scheme thing. You see a lot of, especially with sacks, scheme's such a important thing,
hmm
and playbooks and all that. So,
It'll be interesting to see if the
next
Packers do make a run. I don't think they can, but I think they can surprise me.
we'll see how there's the scheme adjustments affect how much pressure they get on the quarterback. Mahone he has veteran leadership. Um, actually, I didn't. I'm curious, just because he's one of the more legacy people we'll be talking about in this division. Awards. Uh, he was once offensive player of the year
Very
in
recently too.
2032, and he was drafted second. Is that second overall or first overall? I
That's
forget
second
if pick
overall.
two.
Daddy leagues ruins it. Madden does not.
Okay. Um, but it took him 10 years after being drafted. Yeah, three Pro Bowls. But yeah, 10 years after he was drafted, he won Player of the Year, at least Offensive Player of the Year for the probably AFC. Then I'm kind of curious. 2032, what won him that?
That would have been the one I believe that we saw
That
his jump.
what?
Yeah.
That's not Offensive Player of the Year.
Must have been a down year.
19 interceptions. It's like like yeah, 35 touchdowns good. 4440 4440
Must have been a down year.
is good, but 19 picks, that's like saying Jameis because is one of the best because he threw like a
Threw for
top
like
10
5,000 yards.
passing yards or whatever. Yeah. Um but we'll see. It'll be an interesting year. And finally,
I think the favorites, not as a
bias.
Viking fan, I just think,
Bias. The bias.
well, okay, maybe not
Uh,
this year. I think they are the favorite to be a long-lasting thorn in the NFC North
sure.
side. I think they're just too young this year, as we'll see. But I think 2 years down the line, when they all develop, I think they will be a lasting thorn
Mhm.
in the NFC North.
Oh, for sure. I guess probably the best place to start, probably Stamper,
You want to go
right?
Stamper? Okay, I was gonna go Casey
Stamper.
just to get the
Casey,
quarterback.
actually, yeah, we could do quarterback. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Casey Hopkins is a peculiar case,
hmm
and he's good. He's pretty decent. Again, I think a lot of the quarterbacks in the North, they're all like the same, and I think a lot of quarterbacks with just how the sim without any controllers are pretty close to each other.
Yeah.
There's no, and I think that we'll see that change as we take over and we can see how they play. But at least looking at just numbers, they always get in this like 4,000 range. It seems like this guy's pretty consistent at it though.
Hmm?
Um, Always a decent-ish completion percentage for what I've seen this year. Um, I don't know. I like him. Not the most touchdowns, but not the greatest ratio. But he's pretty. He can get the job
I mean,
done.
I was about to say they do also like have him throw a lot. Like look at the attempts that he has.
Oh, that's true.
617, five sixty
But like
seven.
his rookie
Yeah.
year, he only threw 500, which I think like if the Vikings can aim for that year, I
Hmm.
think they can hope get some success if he can go back to rookie year. But even then, like these are not like if you're gonna put like your have a quarterback, this isn't the scariest thing. Like he's not a question mark. You'll probably see him perform like this again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it's the most urgent replacement, but I think they could be looking out. There have been talks of people on the block, some decent quarterbacks, so maybe they look into that. I don't know their cap room. More intriguing to me though is this boy,
Oh
Caleb
yes.
Klein, and I don't know what you do with him. This is kind of a spoiler. I don't know if School is trying to keep him hidden or not, or maybe I'm helping him trade him. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know what he wants to do with Caleb Klein. But Caleb Klein is
Hope
a
he puts him on the
superstar
practice
24 year
squad.
old, 61 overall, with decent stuff. Like, his throw power's not as good as some people like, but it's not a noodle. Those accuracies, they're fine. They're not
They'll get better.
egregious. There's none of the 60s, so like wouldn't be afraid to see him pass anything
Yeah.
more than the first down. Um, Awareness is spooky. I don't like that, but like overall his traits too, for all you trait hunters out there, are pretty good.
Hmm?
So I think we could see someone try to get him and be like, what's his ability? Oh God,
It's inside Deadeye. It's a good ability.
of course
For
he's
those for
inside
those
that
that
eye.
kind of want to take a gamble, I think he's worth it. And just to start
You
developing a quarterback.
It's not a bad player.
He's definitely not going to
Um,
go for like a first or second or anything of that nature, most likely.
oh yeah. So I think School has some interest. He could go with Klein. I don't think. I don't know if he will.
I don't know if he wants to. That's too many people to
I'm sad
develop.
School wasn't keep playing him at his second, just so I could see some stats in preseason. I see like I know the
Yeah.
preseason stats don't count, but just to see how he like you can get some idea of a trend of like at least completion percentage wise would have been
Yeah.
interesting. Um,
I just think there's too many
who
people to
next?
develop on the Vikings
Yeah,
team that Klein just can't fit in.
sure. Like one that you cannot develop with. Oh God, he's normal. I forgot he's normal. That
He's only normal,
sucks.
but he
Stamper.
does well.
Stamper looks very good. But you cannot develop quarterbacks and running backs simultaneously still because Madden's like, let's make that one inconvenient.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. No.
like the
But he
one
already,
combo I think you can't really do is that, and it's annoying.
yeah. He already has
We
17
can see who
touchdowns on
made the
his
playoffs
career.
last year.
Oh,
I just
nice.
realized by going to
Um,
progression history, you can see what
well, I
they
know they
did
didn't.
last.
I know they did not
They
make
did
the
not.
playoffs.
No.
Because they've been
Um.
bad for the last couple seasons,
Sure.
which is odd. Again, looking at this team, it's just odd that they're bad. He had a 10 touchdowns his sophomore year with
Only
700
700
yards on the
yards, but
ground.
was he?
I
I
mean,
wonder if
again,
he was having someone split last year that was just not on the team anymore.
yeah.
Considering how young they are here, I could see that being the case.
Hmm.
Um. especially since their second best is a rookie. So I could see maybe that a more productive backup or whatever. Well, we'll see. With next up is we can do receiver as we're going down the list.
Yeah.
And the receiving core is also very interesting just because it's very top heavy, at least to me.
Yes. I
Uh,
mean, they're also like the older. It's one of the oldest receiving cores in the
yeah.
North, and so it's
And
the
you have a very
one.
physical, little, and by little it's a 6'2" boy, so not too small, but a very physical man,
Yes.
Isaiah Faulkner, who, again, he, looking at him, has some decent stuff. This dude's like a prototypical, like, red zone guy, though.
Yeah.
Like, should be a red zone target, and I don't know if he actually gets used that way in the
He's
sim,
got. Oh
but,
my God.
cause,
He's got 94 jump, along with 95 catching, 95 catch in traffic, 95 spec catch, and
like,
90
you think
short
this
route
guy
run.
should be,
He is
like,
literally like 20 yards in is impossible to stop. Should be impossible to
thing
stop.
is, like he only has like career wise he only has you know
That's
10
stupid. That's
touchdowns ever
insane.
and it's so stupid and hopefully scheme or whatever can make him better cuz he deserves better.
Oh my God. Like any sort of slant or drag or in route. Maybe pairing him with Klein, who has inside Deadeye, would be a possible way to do it because he's. I don't see how anyone can stop him from getting the ball in the first
Mhm.
like 10 yards of the field.
Right? Like it's basically the quarterback that
Yeah,
can
it's
decide that.
absolutely.
Now,
No
other
one
than
matches
that,
up with
you
this.
oh my god. What? Look at the top 3 receivers first names.
Yeah, yeah.
What?
Oh my
Isaiah,
God.
Isaiah, Isaiah. These are the Isaiahs. I
That's
did not
awesome.
realize that when
That's
looking at
that's
these
so
rosters.
good.
That's hilarious.
They can never be separated.
Isaiah.
And they're all tall as hell
Uh,
too. Isaiah Clinton. Isaiah is 6'5". Isaiah is six
what the?
two, and Isaiah is 6'2".
And if you look at their fourth and fifth, they even get taller. They don't have a single. Their only receiver under 6 foot is their last receiver,
Yeah.
which is 5'11". Everyone else is 6'3", 6'3", 6'5", 6'5", 6'5", 6'2",
Oh
6'2".
my
Like these
God.
are tall boys.
Oh
And what's
my
their tight end look
God.
like? Their tight end's probably. Oh wait, never
It's
mind. Their
like he's
tight end's
tied. He's tied with height.
Christ
Oh.
Almighty. This is hilarious. I'm excited. It's probably because the Vikings had a like if I look at these guys, this guy's probably physical. This
Yeah.
guy's probably
Oh yeah, they're
physical.
all physicals.
Yeah, which makes
Um.
sense if you want the physicals tend to be the tall boys.
Yep.
Um, that's hilarious. I love the Isaiahs though. Now I'm very excited. And, like Isaiah Clinton's a young. He's a star
I just
at
yeah
23. Like I think you could develop Isaiah Clinton to be
yeah he should definitely be the
something
number
a
two over
second.
Towns.
Oh, last year he had a 1,000 yard season,
Yeah.
9 reception or touchdowns. Absolutely, I think that guy's worth having, or maybe keep him in slot. I don't know. I'm assuming that's what he was last year.
Most
But like,
likely.
yeah, that's good. I really
Yeah.
like that.
The
Good
tight
job,
end's
Isaiah's.
nothing to write out home about. He's decent. 27, 76 overall. He's
Yep.
tied with height for other Isaiahs. The O
Well,
line
no,
is.
none of the Isaiahs have. Oh wait, it's maybe
I believe Isaiah
Isaiah
Clinton is
Clinton.
6'5".
Isaiah Clinton is,
Yeah.
yeah. O line is okay. Not
I
again. Same O line
it's
story.
probably one of the worst. I guess yeah, it's probably one of the
They have
worst
their
in the
interior is
North.
not bad.
No.
Their tackles are just god awful and are just nice, but
Yeah.
not actually nice. But the 69 nice.
What
Um,
I want to talk about is Justin Price, the former #1 overall pick on the defensive line at right end.
this is pretty good.
2385 X Factor with Relentless. Oh,
He's he's pretty
Malcolm
decent.
Grant too.
What's his sacks? His first year sacks were pretty good. Last year's not quite as good, but more tackles for loss. So we'll see if he takes another step forward.
Hmm.
Um, very exciting player though.
Their
What's his
linebacking
like
core
his whole thing?
is not
Going back to
good.
Price, ooh,
Yeah, for sure.
finesse and speed are very solid for him. Yeah,
Hmm.
linebackers. Well, I mean, McLean is could get better. He's kind of around the age where they stop getting really decent development. But like McLean's not the worst you could have. The problem with that is, um, I don't know if it's a scheme fit. I don't, based off what I'm seeing with line sack numbers.
Yeah.
Corbett, Corbett, he's fine. Frank Levy's not that good.
I think linebackers
Uh,
got to be where
that's a
Skull should go first. And then talk about
yeah,
drafting for divisional uh opponents. The Vikings defensive backs are one
fast.
of the fast. Yeah, they want to stop the Bears.
Mhm.
Even their safeties.
Khalid
Their safeties are
McLaughlin is
fast.
actually really good.
Yeah,
Like as a man corner, Khalid McLaughlin's really good, and actually has okay zone, all things considered for some some play. Like he's not completely specialized, and he
yeah.
gets some good picks. Like he's last year 3 picks. Like he's total in his 5 year career. He has 10 picks, so 2 picks a year average, which is fairly decent. I like him a lot as a top corner, and I think these other guys can be pretty decent. They're young enough. Harris is
Sucks
a
that they're all
normal, but
normal, but you
yeah.
know the Madden
Free
Sims, how the
safety
Madden
too.
Sims. Yeah, free
Like their
safety.
defensive backs, both safeties are pretty solid.
Yep.
Roper is another ability. I do think, if I had to put money on this division, I think Vikings, to me, have them. I think they have the most upside, and
They have the. That's what I was saying. Like, I don't think they
I think
win
they're gonna
the
win.
division
I think they
this
win.
year. I
I
think the
don't see
Bears win
who
the
else.
division.
The Bears are good. I don't know if they're overwhelmingly better though than the Vikings. And I think it just comes down to how will people sim with actual people controlling,
Sure.
and we don't have those numbers yet.
Yeah.
I like this Viking team though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, their
Plat
entire
Zone
backfield
KO.
is so fast, and then they get Watkins
I
at
think the
strong safety.
I think Stamper though wins this division for the Vikings if it happens. That's I
And
think their biggest
yeah,
uh advantage over the rest.
it's just the running game.
Mhm.
Yeah. But that
So
entire
that's
defensive backfield's stupid, insane. Just in terms of
mhm.
speed. And then they get Delonte Watkins to take over for Bader,
Sure, yeah.
who's a star rookie at 77
Mhm.
overall.
But I think that's about all I have to say. I don't know if you have anything else.
I no, I
It's
just
like
think I think the Bears. I think we just disagree on where the division lies essentially. So I think it's the
mhm.
Bears to lose.
Yeah. Mm, I don't think they're overwhelmingly better. They have probably the best receiving core, but again, they have enough weaknesses where it's like I think it's very much too close to call, and I like the upside of this Vikings enough
Yeah,
where I think
I think
with
they'll
the
be my
gold
favorite next
trainings
year.
in play, I think the Vikings just take it.
Hmm.
And like I just don't see like quarterback play I don't see like the Bears being significantly better than anyone else in this division.
For
Maybe
sure.
I just there's nothing where it's like other than receivers, which is like and even then here you have some decent big physical receivers. So we'll see. Uh yeah. I just like this team and I think just because running back will become an issue or because I think the running backs other than Stamper just aren't that good in this division and have no upside,
Yeah.
really. It's like I think that's where how did Jonathan Bailey do last year for the Bears? Maybe my thoughts are wrong. Oof, 3.5. He had a decent yeah. And actually, while I'm thinking about it, let's see if Stamper's actually good or says YPA. Well, I'm thinking YPA. Oof, maybe not. Maybe he's not that good. The gross YPA. With 3.5.
Sure.
Mm,
Yeah. We'll have to
we'll
see. I
see.
guess we'll just have to see him. Yeah.
Alright, I think that's it for this one. I went an
Yes. We
hour. I'm
will
on every team.
get.
So I
I
don't know
think we'll
if we'll
do
be
the
this long.
East next. Is the NFC and
Hey,
just
you
go in
want
a
to do
circle
it?
and then AFC.
Sure.
All right.
I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. We will at those when we're ready.
Bye for now.
Yes.